Welcome to NASScom Studios. We are at the Technology and Leadership Forum 2023, and I have with me Dr. Tiffany Vora. She's faculty, Vice Chair of Digital Biology and Medicine at Singularity University. Thank you so much, Dr. Vora, for joining us and speaking with us. How do you see the field of digital biology evolving in the next decade? And what kind of impact do you think this will have on our society and the planet?
That's a really big question, and I'm excited to talk about it. So digital biology is this idea that the information of life, by which I mean DNA, is common to all life on Earth. So digital biology means that once we learn how to digitize DNA, which we already know how to do, then we can use DNA as a programming language. So anything we can do with computer code, we can also do for DNA code. And that opens up all kinds of possibilities in health, in agriculture, in national security, in all kinds of really interesting fields. And frankly, with the existential threat of climate change that we're all facing all around the world, especially here in Asia, I think that digital biology is going to be the set of tools that are perhaps the most powerful things we have to build the best possible future.
Okay, but there's a lot of talk of ethics, of user data, and new advancements always have a lot of question marks. Are there any questions regarding ethics when using DNA? I mean, isn't it DNA, something very individual to an individual or something which is very special to them? You said everybody has the same DNA. Are there any ethical issues involved here?
I'm so glad you asked that question because there are a lot of ethical issues, and it's really important that everyone around the world gets to ask questions like this. So it's not that every person has the same DNA. You're right, we do actually all, your DNA makes you, you, and it makes me, me. But as an operating system, as a common language, all life on Earth uses the same ACTG. So what that means is that while there's nothing particularly special about human DNA, we are still human, and it's most important to me to have technology that is human-centered technology. So what does that mean? It can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Personally, I'm really excited about systems that put you in the center of your own DNA ecosystem. I'm in the center of mine, and you get to make decisions for yourself and potentially for your family that align with your particular ethics. Now, that becomes more complicated as we start looking at a global perspective, but that's why it's so important that we have these conversations now, because this technology is only getting more powerful, which is why it's so important to hear so many voices.
So with all the advancements in synthetic biology, genomics, medical research, does this prepare us better for perhaps the next pandemic that comes through?
Absolutely, but let's just take a minute and recognize how much these technologies really helped in this last pandemic that we're just coming out of. Now, this has been a really terrible experience, but just as a single example, remember that before the pandemic, the fastest vaccine ever put into large human use took 4 years to develop. Usually it takes more than 10 years. And so at the beginning of this pandemic in spring 2020, somebody asked me, how long is it going to take to have a vaccine? And I went on record as saying 4 years would be fantastic. And it didn't take 4 years. It took 1 year for many types of vaccines all over the world to be safe and effective and out there saving people's lives. So the fact that we were able to make these great strides recently, I think gives me great hope for the future that it's only going to get better. And we have better tools now to see the next one coming. I think data transparency around these global issues is extremely important. And so the more DNA data we get out there, the more tools we have for getting them, the better chance we have of being ready the next time.
Okay, and how much work, research, innovation is going into this genomics research? Because in India, we are seeing a few companies do this. And, preparing for the next pandemic is great, but there is an ongoing pandemic of, lifestyle diseases. How does this help there? Will people be open and accepting to this kind of innovative treatment?
Well, part of the way people are open to this type of stuff is the way we tell the story of technology. So as you so rightly pointed out, when we're talking about biology, we're talking about our bodies. We're talking about our families' bodies, and that's a very personal thing. So that's why people like me are out in the world, going around the world, trying to talk about why are we doing this? What kinds of scientists are doing this type of work? How are they earning our trust? And why should we believe them? And interestingly, earning trust is a really important thing. We saw how that failed during the pandemic, so we've got a lot of work to do. But I think there's so much opportunity for these tools, for health, like you pointed out, for agriculture, for food security, for fighting climate change. I think we're going to come to the point where it's going to be obvious that we really need these tools. And so the bridges that we're building today are going to be really important for having that trust in the coming decades.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Vora, for speaking with us and talking to us about digital biology and the future, what it could look like should this be developed more. Thank you so much.
Thank you.